Hello, all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. Finally, male athletes can't compete in women's swimming, regardless of what gender they consider themselves to be. It was the natural thing to do. Now the female athletes won't need to fight so hard to get the right to compete fairly. There are recorded documents proving that TikTok's Chinese employees have been reading the confidential information of U.S. users, no matter how much the company's top executives swore in Congress to keep the information of U.S. citizens safe. Elon Musk is not only outspoken in his criticism of various injustices, but he also does not allow his company's employees to promote leftist rhetoric. But the most powerful news of the weekend came in a statement from the Texas GOP. Okay, let's get into it. Fina, the group that governs swimming competitions worldwide, adopted a new rule on Sunday that will prohibit transgender competitors from participating in women's swimming events unless they can prove that they did not experience male puberty. The rule states that males who experience puberty will be ineligible to compete as women, and that only transgender athletes who claim to have transitioned from male to female before the age of 12 years old will be allowed to compete as women. But biological women who claim to be men can fully compete in men's swimming events. Fina President Hussein Al-Musallam noted in a statement that the governing body has to protect competitive fairness at our events, especially the women's category at FEMA competitions. Dr. Michael Joyner, a physiologist and human performance expert, said, "Testosterone in male puberty alters the physiological determinants of human performance and explains the sex-based differences in human performance considered clearly evident by age 12. He added, even if testosterone is suppressed, its performance-enhancing effect will be retained. Al-Musallam said, Fina will always welcome every athlete. He added, the creation of an open category will mean that everybody has the opportunity to compete at an elite level. This has not been done before, so Fina will need to lead the way. I want all athletes to feel included in being able to develop ideas during this process." Saren Davies, a silver medalist in swimming at the 1980 Olympic Games, welcomed the decision. She said, "Fairness is the cornerstone of sports." Under this new rule, we will not see crazy scenes such as the transgender athlete from UPenn, swimmer Leah Thomas, who swam up rampantly through the women's college records books and easily won the NCAA championship this year. BuzzFeed reported on Friday that more than 80 leaked audio recordings of internal TikTok meetings show that non-public data of U.S. users was read multiple times by TikTok China employees. The BuzzFeed report comes just hours after TikTok published a blog post announcing that it had changed the default storage location of U.S. user data, and that effective immediately, 100% of U.S. user traffic is being routed to Oracle Cloud infrastructure. For years, TikTok has been trying to convince the U.S. government that they are addressing security concerns, such as how to ensure that information collected from U.S. users is stored in the U.S. and not in China, where its parent company ByteDance is located. However, a new investigation by BuzzFeed found that 14 recordings from 9 TikTok employees indicate that engineers in China had access to U.S. data between September 2021 and January 2022. Another 9 recordings mentioned that U.S. employees had to turn to their colleagues in China to determine the flow of U.S. user data. U.S. employees did not have access or did not know how to access this data on their own. In a meeting in September 2021, a TikTok trust and security employee said publicly, "The data and everything is visible in China." In another meeting that same month, another executive had referred to an engineer in Beijing as the master admin who had access to all sensitive data. More than 80 recordings covering everything from small meetings with company leaders and consultants to full policy presentations that were corroborated by screenshots and other documents provide ample evidence to confirm the fact that employees had access to U.S. user data, and Chinese employees access this data far more often and for far longer than has been previously exposed. In the past, TikTok has misled the U.S. Congress, misled users, and misled the public about this matter. TikTok has also downplayed the fact that data that is stored in the U.S. is still accessible to employees in China. A TikTok executive publicly promised during a U.S. Senate hearing in October 2021 that he would let a world-renowned U.S.-based security team decide who would have access to the sensitive data. Clearly, this is not true. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States has been investigating TikTok's collection of U.S. data since 2019. In 2020, President Trump was threatening to ban the app altogether. Members of the U.S. Congress are concerned about two main threats caused by TikTok. First, the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, could force ByteTalk to collect and to hand over U.S. information, turning it into a form of data espionage. Second, the CCP could influence executives at ByteTalk to direct their U.S. counterparts to adjust TikTok's algorithm to affect potentially 1 billion users. Senator Ted Cruz called TikTok a Trojan horse that is used by the CCP to influence what Americans see, hear, and ultimately think. TikTok's latest announcement said on Friday that we still use U.S. and Singapore data centers for backups, but as work progresses, we expect to remove private data of U.S. users from our own data centers and move entirely to Oracle Cloud servers in the U.S. Adam Siegel, the director of the Digital and Cyberspace Policy Program at the Council of Foreign Relations, said, "Physical location does not matter if the data can still be accessed from China." He said, "The concern would be that data would still end up in the hands of Chinese intelligence if people in China were still accessing." TikTok has over 1 billion active users worldwide, with the U.S. being its largest market. Elon Musk also joined the discussion on this hot news. He asked in a tweet, "Is TikTok destroying civilization? Some people think so." He added, "or perhaps social media in general." Elon Musk criticized the Democratic Party in his latest long interview with Tesla owner Silicon Valley Club. He said that his company Tesla was left out of the electric car summit last year because the United Auto Workers were in control of the Democratic Party and the White House. Two of Musk's most famous companies, Tesla and SpaceX, are not unionized. That's why the United Auto Workers, the UAW, think that Musk is a thorn in their side. Musk complained that although Tesla makes 2/3 of all electric vehicles in the U.S. at last year's Electric Vehicle Summit, Biden explicitly disallowed Tesla from attending, but the United Auto Workers were allowed to attend. Musk said,
"So, deliberately excluding us from an EV summit at the White House, but including the UAW, that tells you all you need to know."
The UAW is one of the most well-established and most politically powerful union organizations in the United States, with influence in both political parties. Musk told the interviewers,
"I think the general public is not aware of the degree to which the unions control the Democratic Party. One does not need to speculate on this point."
The summit included executives from GM and Ford, as well as Fiat, Chrysler, and Stellantis. But these manufacturers produce only a small percentage of the U.S. sales of electric vehicles, with 1.5% for GM and 1.3% for Ford as of last August. Stellantis does not even have any purely electric vehicles for sale in the United States yet. Biden praised Mary Barra, who is the CEO for GM at the EV Summit, for leading the EV revolution in the quarter where GM delivered just 26 electric vehicles. Musk said, "That's some next-level insanity." Elon Musk's outspoken comments on Twitter have drawn criticism from leftist employees within SpaceX. But Musk's company won't tolerate such transgressions. SpaceX has fired several employees after they released a letter of complaint. The open letter criticized Musk's activity on Twitter and complained that his actions negatively reflect on the work and values of SpaceX employees. These employees called Musk's public comments a frequent source of distraction and embarrassment, and called on top leadership to rein him in. Gwynne Shotwell, the president and chief operating officer of SpaceX, then terminated a number of employees involved with the letter. Shotwell's email to company staff said that the employees' behavior made other employees feel uncomfortable, intimidated, and bullied and/or angry because the letter pressured them to sign on to something that did not reflect their views. She wrote, "We have too much critical work to accomplish and no need for this kind of overreaching activism." Her attitude is very clear. The company pays its employees to do scientific research and development, not to comment on current events. She added, "Please stay focused on the SpaceX mission and use your time at work to do your best work. This is how we will get to Mars." Before we move on to the explosive news from the Texas GOP about Biden's election, please like and share this video to help us spread the truth. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you have already subscribed, we thank you, but please double check to make sure you are still subscribed, because some of our audience have reported that they were somehow unsubscribed without their knowledge. Okay, let's get back into it. Texas Republicans passed a resolution on June 18th stating that Joe Biden was not legitimately elected. The resolution was passed on Saturday on the last day of a 3-day biannual Texas GOP convention held in Houston. It reads, "We believe that the 2020 election violated Article 1 and 2 of the U.S. Constitution, that various secretaries of state illegally circumvented their state legislatures to conduct their elections in multiple ways, including by allowing ballots to be received after November 3rd, 2020. This is the first group so far of state legislators to take a clear position on the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. The next part of the resolution is a bit more sensitive, so please watch the full report on our membership site." The Texas GOP also recommends numerous measures to bolster election integrity, including by implementing voter photo ID and in-person voting and tightening the voter registration process. James Wesolek, the communications director for the Republican Party of Texas, told the Epoch Times that 5,500 delegates attended the convention. Last week, Russia announced a reduction in the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, citing unit maintenance, affecting all of Europe. Germany, France, Italy, Austria, and the Czech Republic are all affected. In Germany, for example, gas deliveries were cut by 60%. Germany had to start a nationwide energy conservation campaign. To avoid a tighter supply of heating demand in winter, the manufacturing industry is threatening to reduce the usage. In response, German Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck accused Russia of merely making excuses, and he denounced the supply cut as a political decision aimed at stirring up anxiety in European society and pushing up energy prices. Germany unveiled new measures on Sunday to restart coal-fired power plants and to provide incentives for companies to curb gas consumption. These measures are aimed at reducing gas consumption and moving gas to storage facilities to ensure that the country has enough reserves to get through the winter. Germany has been working extremely hard over the past few months to increase its natural gas reserves. Reserves are now at 56%, and Germany is aiming to have its gas storage facilities 90% full by December. As much as 70% of the German people are trying to save energy in their daily lives, such as driving less and reducing the use of gas and appliances. In order to reduce the use of natural gas, the survey showed that 60% of the people are willing to lower the indoor temperature by 2 degrees this winter to endure the inconvenience in their own way in their own lives. Italy and Slovakia have also recently said that the amount of natural gas obtained through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline is already less than half of what it used to be. France said it has not received Russian gas from Germany since the 15th of this month. Experts said that European countries face the problem of how to fill the huge supply gap of nearly 40%, but the German energy company Uniper said that while gas from Russia was 60% less than what they had agreed to deliver, the shortfall could be made up elsewhere. Bitcoin's value fell below $20,000 on Saturday, reaching its lowest point in 18 months, largely due to investor concerns about growing problems in the industry and a general retreat from riskier assets. Bitcoin, the most dominant cryptocurrency, has fallen about 59% so far this year. Likewise, its rival Ethereum is down 74%. At one point in 2021, Bitcoin peaked at more than $68,000. Meanwhile, a slew of cryptocurrency companies, Coinbase Global, Gemini, and BlockFi, among others, have announced that they are laying off thousands of employees while investors flock to sell off the risky assets. There are also reports of cryptocurrency hedge funds in trouble. Edward Moya, a senior market analyst at the online forex broker America's Owanda, said that confidence in the cryptocurrency industry has collapsed. Perhaps the most ardent fans of cryptocurrencies are still optimistic about the long-term trend, but none of them are saying that now is the time to buy on the dips. Jeffrey Gundlach, the CEO of Double Line Capital, predicted that he wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin fell to $10,000. Next, I want to take a moment to thank you all for your support of Front Page. Your donation and your membership subscription are really helping us to continue to tell you the truth. Every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. We heard from many of our viewers that they don't get notifications of our videos anymore, so please follow us on Telegram, Gab, and Getter for the latest updates. Okay, this is our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family, because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.